Everybody, welcome to the speaker series as part of Special Olympics Maryland Athlete Leadership Program. My name is Jason Schrummel. I'm the Vice President for Athlete Leadership here at Special Olympics Maryland. Part of the many courses that we offer in our Athlete Leadership Program is a course called Global Messenger or public presentations, where individuals learn to write a speech around a topic and then present that speech to an audience. So obviously when we went into to COVID lockdown a couple of years ago and a half, this was one way we could still keep our skills sharp by getting up on Zoom and practicing those skills. And so we'd like to continue it because it was pretty successful, and it's a nice chance to keep us up to date on everything we want. So tonight we have a few speakers to share with you around the topic of a time you discovered you were more than you thought. And so we gave everybody that prompt or that theme, and they each took it in whatever direction they felt it spoke to them. And so we're going to hear everybody tonight. So let's go to our first speaker from Carroll County, athlete leader Derek Hamburg. Derek is also currently working on establishing his own podcast. He's a big fan of sports, and I think he has in his room his favorite companion, his dog, who is also a very good audience member. So Derek Hamburg, would you take it away?
Thank you all for having me here tonight. Have you ever thought there was a job or a task that you thought was too hard or too tricky? I know I have. As some of you all know, I've been working at Buffalo Wild Wings for almost 5 years. I've gained a lot of skills since I started. When I first started at Buffalo Wild Wings, I started by portioning the appetizers and cleaning up the restaurant. And now I'm happy to say that I can also put working and helping them out on the line on the chip fryers into the skills. When I was first asked about working on the line, I kind of hesitated at first because I didn't know how it was going to go. One of my staff from my agency, Stacy Lottrell, told me that I should go and try and see how it goes. And I give it a shot, and it works out really well. I have had a lot of support from the staff at Penmar, my agency, and the kitchen staff and managers. They've really helped me out a lot, and I feel like I can really do an amazing job for them. And at first I felt like I don't know how this is gonna go, but now since I've been doing it, and when the kitchen people and the managers talk me about how great of a job I've been doing with that, it really helps me feel more accomplished as a person. So I think if you were ever in that situation on having a job where you think a task can be too tough for you, just give it a shot, because you might do very well with it, just like I did. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Derek. Yeah, starting a new job and learning some new skills can be a challenge, but obviously you were up to that challenge. So thank you for sharing that. All right, from Carroll County to Baltimore County, our next speaker, no stranger to the talks that we had in the last couple of years. She has even done our really large talk, Brave in the Attempt talks, that will be coming up in June at Towson University. She is an accomplished athlete, an accomplished athlete leader, and a recent super plunge expert, having gone in the water 24 times in 24 hours, plus a few others. So I present to you Monique Matthews.
Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt, is a phrase I never thought I would use in my life. But being an athlete with Special Olympics Maryland, it is an oath we guide our sports life by. I feel sometimes there are 3 strikes against me. I am an African American, being a woman, and having an intellectual disability. When I first realized that I was different and not considered like others, it made me feel very uncomfortable, to the point where I felt like the walls were caving in, like I was alone. I just wanted to stay to myself and started to feel like I didn't belong with normal people. I felt misunderstood because it would take me a while to respond. So they immediately thought, what's wrong with her? Once I heard that, I felt like the only person I can trust, myself. My only friend, myself. My only teacher, myself. So I went permanently on mute. I thought if I didn't talk, they would not think something was wrong with me. Or just because she's Black, she can't formulate a sentence, or too dumb to understand what we are talking about. Or maybe because I am a woman, they don't think we have a voice to be heard like everyone else. So with my confidence slowly growing through the many speeches I have done in the past, I thought, how could I use my new platform to share what I thought were the 3 strikes against me? So one day in May, SOMD had an opportunity for any topic we would like to talk about. So I thought it would be the opportunity to talk about my 3 strikes. So through multiple practices, with the layout of my speech and a couple of group discussions, the day finally arrived. I presented my 3 strike speech with a little educational piece. Everyone started to give me positive feedback. I started to feel like my voice was finally being heard. I am not alone in how I feel. Once I got done reading my speech, I cried. Not because I was sad. I cried because I felt like I was finally in a group where I felt like I belonged. Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. Might be an oath for some, but for me, it showed me that I am capable of more than what you know, and capable of more than what more of more than even I knew.
Great job, Monique. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Well done. And yes, it's sometimes the challenging times are the times that show us the strength we really have, isn't it? So great example of that. And appreciate you sharing a very personal story. So excellent. Next up is from St. Mary's County is Bailey MEWHINNEY. Bailey is a certified athlete leader, a multi-sport athlete, former homecoming King, right, Bailey, I think. And then
Correct.
and now in his new role coming up in June, will be a coach for Team Maryland as they go down to the USA Games and celebrate the USA Games at Orlando. So an accomplished young man. I present to you Bailey MEWHINNEY.
Thank you, Jason. The award read Naval Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. This Teen Quest Cadet Award presented to Bailey MEWHINNEY. Know ye that the above cadet has earned superior academic aptitude excellence in the NJROTC program during the 2015 and 2016 school year. This exemplary performance of duty reflected most favorably on the unit. Job well done. The award was signed by my teachers, Captain Randall and Professor Ham. Hi, I'm Bailey MEWHINNEY, and I'm a certified athlete leader from St. Mary's County. I was a sophomore in high school when I received that award. It was my first year of Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, and I had no idea that I was going to receive it. That award was only given to one or two cadets from each class, so it was a big deal. When I decided to do in JROTC in high school, I knew that I would do great, but I never expected to get that award, and I was so honored. In JROTC, I learned a lot of cool things, like how to make knots, and I learned about the parts of a ship and boating safety signs, and how to read a map. First days were uniform days. I was so proud to wear my uniform. We were graded on grooming and how the uniform looked. My medals and my boss, my name tag, and my rank, everything on the uniform had to be measured to be in charge the right place. 4 times a year, we had a big ceremony called battalion cultures. This was when all the platoons, over 100 cadets, came together in the gym and had a formal inspection. Captain Randall would speak to the parents and visitors attending, and we would march around the gym information. There was usually a performance by the drum team. At the battalion quarters at the end of each school year, awards like the Distinguished Cadet Award that I received were given out. There were quite a few awards handed out, and there were a lot of guests at these events. Captain Randall's boss will come, so it was really important that we were on time and doing our best. At battalion quarters at the end of my junior year, I received another award for the junior GOT Award of Merit, presented for the military order of the World Wars. This was given to only one cadet in the whole program. At that time, I was a senior. I have been promoted to Chief Petty Officer, and I was responsible for roll call in my class and writing down the grades for uniform inspection. I got my dress blues uniform, which only a few cadets got to wear. I also did color guard. It's when you carry the flags in and present them at different events. In JROTC really was my favorite class. Winston Churchill once said, continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking your potential. I agree with him, and I urge you, if there is something that you really want to try, you should. You might surprise yourself with how much you can achieve. Thank you.
Thank you, Bailey. Nice job on that. Yes, definitely. You are achieving and having great success. So obviously listening to the words of Churchill and following your own path. I think that's excellent. Great example for everybody. Thank you, Bailey. All right. So from Bailey, we're gonna head over. So we just a little background. During the pandemic, we developed a really close relationship with Special Olympics Illinois. They joined many of our athlete leadership activities online, and we joined many of theirs, and we've made some really great new friends. And one of our friends is here today from Illinois. And so I would like to welcome athlete leader Kaylee McLaughlin from Special Olympics Illinois. Kaylee, take it away.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kaylee McLaughlin. I'm an athlete, global messenger, health messenger, and former board member for Special Olympics Illinois. I've been an athlete since 2010. I participate in basketball, flag football, bowling, softball, snow skiing, bocce, volleyball, and track and field. Today, I want to talk about me being proud of myself. Not about my mom or my coach or anyone else, but about me being proud. I have figured out that even though I'm 27 years old, I'm still growing as a young woman, as an athlete, as a leader, and growing towards independence. I have an example of my growth to share with you. Ever since I was a little girl, I've been afraid to stay at people's houses overnight. I would cry for my mom. One time, I was supposed to stay at my brother's house for a week. Mom had to drive 3 hours to pick me up. Hours later, the same day, she dropped me off. I missed her so much and couldn't quit crying. Since then, when I try to stay at places without her, like at Special Olympics events, I have to call her and text her until finally I fall asleep. I cry and it hurts my heart because I miss her so much. She's really nice and texts me back and forth until I finally fall asleep. Well, I have a best friend, Kate. I went to high school with her. After school, she joined my Special Olympics team, the Warren County Falcons. We found out we have more in common than just old high school classmates. Kate participates in volleyball, bocce, basketball, and track and field. She has recently started training to become a global messenger and has been joining athlete leadership training. We have fun at practice. Recently, I invited Kate to spend the night with me. It's kind of neat because come to find out, Kate doesn't like to stay away from her mom either. Well, Kate stayed at my house. We had fun. We laughed, played with my dogs, joined a virtual cooking class with Special Olympics Oregon, and made jalapeno poppers. They were spicy. And stayed up really late. Her mom kept checking on her, and she was fine, having fun with me. So the next day, Kate invited me to go to her house to hang out after practice. After I was at her house for a few hours, we decided to ask my mom and her mom if I could stay at her house all night. We played on our phones, talked, went on golf cart rides. We went shopping, played with her dogs, and ate lots of snack foods. It was I had a super fun time. We both did. It was a huge deal for me, and I was proud of myself. My mom had to call me the next day after she got off to ask if I was ever coming back home. Kate and I are already planning another sleepover. I'm proud of myself and feel like I'm growing up. I figured out that I can have fun and my mom will be home when I return. I think the training I received from Special Olympics and the great friends I made has given me the confidence in myself as a young woman. I'm still growing as a person. I figured out that I can decide what to order at a restaurant. I can decide what I want to wear. It's up to me to decide to get to become a healthier version of myself by working out and watching what I eat. It's up to me to decide to stay away from home. I even wrote most of this speech by myself. Still growing, we can all continue to work on being stronger kind of versions of ourselves. Thank you for having me speak with you tonight. Maybe if I speak again at a later time, I'll have even more things to tell you about growing up as an independent woman.
Thank you, Kaylee.
Thanks.
We hope that we will hear more stories, definitely, about you and growing as an independent woman. We can't wait to hear it, and we're all feel lucky that you've been part of our family here at Special Olympics Maryland. So
thank
you're
you.
always welcome with us. So,
thank you.
yeah. All right, so that's it. Kaylee McLaughlin, everybody. Our next speaker is certified athlete from Baltimore City, ANNU Singleton. ANNU was an athlete leader from the very beginning when we started this program 6 years ago, 7 years ago. He came to the first meeting, the first training. He has been around, one of our veterans, and does a really good job mentoring other upcoming athletes and setting a good example for those around him. Very active with Special Olympics, but also very active in his community. So everyone, I would like to present to you ANNU Singleton.
Thank you, Jason. Greetings, everyone. My name is ANNU Singleton, and I am a multi-sport certified athlete leader from Baltimore City. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you about how I became a super plunger. Several years ago, on a Thursday, January 24, 2013, Jim Smuts, the president and CEO of SOND, asked me that I would like to go with him for an athlete leadership opportunity at the Cruise Maryland terminal, and I said yes. So myself and Jim went to the terminal to meet some of the representatives from Carnival Cruise Lines, like Kirk Neal and Kathy Donnelly. First, I didn't know why Jim asked me to come to the terminal that night, but it turns out that I was chosen to be an athlete representative for Carnival Cruise Lines for the corporate plunge. At first, I was so happy that I was chosen, but then I was super excited when I heard the other news, because not only I became an athlete representative for one of the most greatest cruise lines in all of Maryland, but I also get to join them for the corporate plunge at Sandy Point State Park for the first time in my athletic career. I said to them, I am so honored for this opportunity. I've never plunged before, and I've never been to Sandy Point before. This is like a dream coming to reality, something that I can never pass up. So the next day, I came to the beach on a cold winter day. I was happy that for the first time in my life, I get to plunge into the icy cold water. At first, I was a bit nervous that I'd never been to the water this frigid cold before. But I said to myself that I wanted to prove to them that I'm ready for anything. So as soon as the countdown went from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I took off towards the water with my fellow climber representatives. And when I ran in there for the first time, it was extremely cold, but it was also enjoyable and fun. I didn't care that I was cold when I came out of the water. It was still worth it. The challenge and the excitement that I was looking for, it felt so good. I said to myself that I loved it so much that I would love to do it again. So the next day I came back to Sandy Point once more, but this time for the actual polar bear plunge. When I went in for the second time, I felt like I got the bloodlust to do it again every single year. But when I got back home from Sandy Point, my mom and older sister said they saw me go into the water. And then they called me a soldier because I ran in there. So from now on, I vowed to continue plunging at Sandy Point State Park every single year. So then the next year, while I was waiting for my fellow Congo representatives to plunge with them again, I chill at the super plunge tent. I hadn't heard about it before, so I asked a couple of people, what is the super plunge? And then someone told me that the super plunge is like the regular plunge. But for this one, you have to go into the water once every hour for 24 hours. I said to myself at first, I'm not ready for something like this. No, I definitely don't want to do this at all. But then when I saw some of my fellow athletes like Adam Hayes, Michael Hoyt, and Erica Wheeler doing the super plunge, if they can do it, so can I, right? So if I ever want to do a super plunge someday, I have to train myself for that event. So up to this point every year, I always go to Sandy Point to plunge with the super plungers as part of my training until I was ready for the real thing. That's why I became a in training super plunger for many years. But there was a downfall of that. I also found that in order for me to do super plunge, I also have to raise $10,000 if I ever have a chance to participate. Said to myself, there's no way I can raise the money on my own. No matter how many people that ask for donations. But in 2021, I finally got an opportunity that I'm ready for. Become a super plunger for the first time by teaming up with a unified part to help raise the money we need to participate. So this year in 2022, this past March, I was now an official super plunger. But I've never been able to become one without all of your support. But when I was doing it this year, I wanted to prove that not only that I can take on any challenge life has given me, but I've also wanted to show that I got heart of a super plunger, heart of a Maryland Special Olympian, and the heart of a warrior. Someone that never gives up, someone that is never afraid of accepting defeat, and someone that is always continue to think positive when you're plunging into the water. No matter how cold it is, no matter how difficult it is, I always want to prove that even an intellectual disabled athlete can do anything you put your mind into it. That's how I became a super plunger. Thank you all very much.
All right, great job, ANNU. Thank you.
No problem.
Quite a journey from one single plunge to a super plunger. That background, that's not where you super plunged, right?
No,
No.
that's not why I super plunged.
All right, just checking. It seems pretty tropical. All right. All right. Thank you, ANNU. All right. Next up, our next speaker for the evening. No stranger to the speaker series talks. I think Thomas has given probably near 6 or 7 of these speeches, maybe even more. Thomas is an athlete leader from Howard County, also a multi-sport athlete. Has a long he's worked at Weiss Markets for a very long time. Is beloved there and beloved at Special Olympics Maryland. So now I would like to present to you Thomas Smith.
When my grandma come to live with, she needs a lot of help. I like to be a big help, but I did not know what I could do. I thought maybe I would not be so good at helping her. My mom said sometimes you can help even when you think you are not doing something. I did not know what she mean. So I sit down with my grandma to watch TV with her. We watch her favorite shows together. We did laugh so hard at the funny parts. When it was time for bed, she said, "Thank you for helping me." What did she mean? Maybe there are different ways to help. Sometimes my grandma did forgot to take her medicine. I said, "Why don't you write it down every time?" She said, "That is a good idea. Thank you for helping me. I feel good." The more she stayed with us, I find out there was more I could do. I could get her a drink. I could clean up her plate and put it in the sink. I could help her get up and help her to her chair. I could help her to go outside to the porch. And we could still watch her shows on TV together. And every time she said, "Thomas, thank you for helping me." I did not know I could be so good at helping Evan, even when I did not know I was doing it. I will miss doing that, helping her, but I know it made her very happy. That makes me proud.
Great job, Thomas. Thank you.
Welcome.
That's a really good lesson, I think, for all of us, right? That
Yeah.
I think when we help people, sometimes we think we have to do really, really big things, but you can do lots of little things that mean a lot to people. So thank you for sharing that. Valuable stuff. So great stuff. All right, Thomas. That was Thomas Smith, Howard County. Our next speaker is from Calvert County. ALEXEA WENTZ is kind of new to our athlete leadership program, but has taken to it quickly and has made herself invaluable to Calvert County and to Special Olympics Maryland and to athlete leadership. It's a treat to have her on our mini calls, and she has the distinct pleasure of going with Team Maryland down to the USA Games in Florida coming up in June. So she is really busy this time of year, also while taking school. So without further ado, I'm going to present to you ALEXEA WENTZ.
Thank you, Jason, for the lovely introduction. Thank you for having me here tonight. C.S. Lewis says, "You can make anything by writing." I have been bullied and cyberbullied throughout the years. I was made fun of and teased. I was sad and I was hurt. I was not strong and confident about who I was. I tried many different hobbies like coloring and drawing and painting and singing, and one was definitely writing. All the hobbies I did were great and so much fun to do. But I could better express myself by writing. So I decided to pick up a pen or a pencil and start writing in a journal about how I felt and everything that went on in my daily life. Not very many people know that I have over 6 journals, probably over 10 that I write in, maybe not on a daily basis, but I do. I didn't recognize that writing would play such a role in my life. I have written many different things like story and fantasy and just freestyle writing. Writing isn't for everyone. You just gotta find your own passion. But guess what? I wrote a book a few years ago and it took a while to write. I poured my heart and soul into writing the book. In the book, it talks about my life and things that I've been through throughout the years. Some examples would be my dream job and my life with having a disability. My life hasn't been easy and I've been through many obstacles and challenges. I didn't know that I could have written a book. I enjoyed pouring every little thing into the book. My mom helped me get the book ready and get everything glued in because I made it like a scrapbook. So Just Me by ALEXEA WENTZ came out to my family and some friends that were in my book. Everyone I gave my book to was so surprised and they didn't know that I had wrote a book. A few months ago, I mentioned to the social media influencers class that I wanted to try something new. Jason Trimmel is the vice president of the athlete leadership. I met Jason when he interviewed my cheer team and I got asked to join the athlete leadership council after a few months after being interviewed. Jason said in the social media influencers class, "Have you written a book?" I was like, "Yes, I have. Have you thought about writing a blog or something similar like that?" And I was like, "No, I had never thought about it." I cried and was so overwhelmed about the blog. A few days later, I decided to say yes to the blog. Sharing my story with others has always been something I've wanted to do. I have been working on this blog since the beginning of February of 2022. I was really nervous but excited for the journey of creating a blog. A blog isn't something easy. Writing and planning a blog can be hard. It comes with a lot of editing and preparing. Maddie Bishop works at Special Olympics Maryland in the marketing and communications department. Maddie and I met at a coffee chat for Special Olympics Maryland when they did virtual movement. Maddie and I have been meeting on Wednesdays to prepare for the blog to be published and coming up with the ideas. If I didn't have Maddie's help, then I would probably be lost in not knowing what to do. It was really nerve-wracking to put everything out there. On April 6, 2022, the first blog post of Alexea's adventures came out, which was chapter 1 of the book I had wrote. I had to call Maddie and I cried before posting, and she said, "Why is it taking you forever to post? Just go ahead and post it. You worked too hard and you just need to post it." Everyone commented with such nice and kind and sweet words. I had 311 viewers. Wow, surprise, my blog reached such a big audience. Then a week later, on the 14th, another blog post came out about me doing the super plunge. Did I ever think I could write a book or do a blog? Maybe one day in the near future when I had thought about more writing. Blogging and booking can lead to many adventures and new beginnings. From blogging and booking and sharing my amazing stories with others, I hope that people can take something away and find that I'm an inspiration to others. Stay tuned for tomorrow night's next blog post or next week. I think I'm going to take a week off.
Well done, Alexia. Good job. Good job. Excellent. Yes, please check out Alexia's blog. It is excellent. You will get glimpses of her book slowly, and you will be able to hear her as you heard her tonight, but when you read, because it's very similar in style. So, and congratulations. I know we're all proud of you and what you've done. So, Alexea from Calvert County, and I think our last speaker tonight from Charles County, recently kind of new to athlete leadership as well. We're very excited to have him part of our program. Lots of good insights, years and years of experience with Special Olympics, and has experienced lots of things that has helped other people in our leadership program, and has contributed to a fascinating life and a fascinating story. So without further ado, I will give you Tim Gowen.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you for letting me talk to you to take a few minutes to talk to you today. Hi, you can call me Tim. I was born in Washington, D.C. I come from a family from 8 children, and we grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland. I've been in Special Olympics for over 50 years. I would like to share with you a few of my experiences that surprised me at different times in my life. In 1964, I hit a home run that went into the infield, the baseball field, across from the one I was playing on. That team had to stop playing. I was only 16 years old, and at the time, what a thrill that was. I was very surprised I was able to do that. This made me want to play more, which helped me to be a better player. At one time, I hit a baseball over 450 feet. It was an exciting, I started hitting like a major leaguer. It was an exciting time for me. I went to Kennedy Institute for high school, and I met Eunice Schreiber at school, which was a wonderful experience. One day, she invited the high schoolers from Kennedy Institute to her home for some events and a meal. We had swimming races, and I came in first place. That made me feel great. This was another time that I realized that there was more to myself than I knew. It doesn't mean I'm better than the other swimmers. I am just a stronger swimmer. We are all winners when we try the best we can. The next time I surprised myself was in 1994, when I was bowling in a league with some of my friends with intellectual disabilities. One Saturday afternoon, I bowled a 288 game, which I have never done before. For those who don't bowl, 300 is a perfect game. I was overjoyed. The crowd cheered while clapping for me. They announced it over the loudspeaker. At that time, my average was around 170. This was a first. I would bowl in 200s often, but this was a first. It was in the first frame I bowled a 9, and then on the second bowl I got a spare. Then there, wham! I bowled 10 strikes in a row. I rolled only 13 balls that game. It hasn't happened since then, but I always try my best. I am 73 years old now. The sports I am participating are bowling, bocce, the torch run, and I am taking classes through Special Olympics. I am now an athlete leader and working on classes to become a global messenger. I set a new goal of becoming a public speaker. My dream is to give speeches to tell my story and let people know all about Special Olympics that has to offer the intellectual disabled community. I recently found this quote by C.S. Lewis that I like. You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. I feel Special Olympics has given me the opportunity to do just when we work hard and try our best. Just may surprise us ourselves and to do better than we thought we could. Never give up and reach for your dreams. Thank you for letting me share some of the special events in my life with you today. And thank you once again, Jason.
Thank you, Tim. Excellent. I hope this is the first step in fulfilling your dream of being able to share your story with so many people. It's such an inspirational story, and you do it with such passion. We just love having you part of the athlete leadership program and being on tonight. So thanks again.
Most welcome.
All right, so that takes us to the end of our speaker series tonight. So thank you to all of our speakers who put in all the work during April to get to this point. Lots of feedback, lots of sharing, a few tears, some laughter. It's a good experience. Everyone should have to write their own speech once. So, and thank you everybody who joined tonight. It really means a lot to us as an athlete leadership program to have your support, and we hope you enjoyed the evening. And when we come up with our next monthly speaker series, we'll be sure to let you know about that time. So until then, have a good rest of your week, and thanks for joining.